Welcome to another episode of Who's Your Nerds podcast. I was waiting for it to start. It was
I
like
know.
taking a second, and then you started making noises, and I panicked. It's another Chris special.
It's a Chris.
Mikey, it's not a Christmas special. It's a Chris special. I don't know if that's any better. It's probably
Nope.
worse, actually.
No Christmas till after Thanksgiving. That's my rule.
Yes. As much as I might be in like the Christmas spirit right now, no Christmas.
Yeah, like I haven't even watched the new Home Alone movie yet because it's not Christmas time yet.
I want to start the new Santa Claus. They made a Santa Claus series off of the Santa Claus movies.
Oh, on Disney?
Yeah, and I want to
Yeah,
watch them. It's got Peyton Manning in them.
but not till Christmas time.
Yeah, not until Christmas time, which
Okay.
starts on Friday.
Right. That's what I figured. Yeah, I'll start on Friday. Yeah, I agree. So, God, I'm sicker than shit.
I can tell. You
Damn
sound like you're
angst.
sick. You
Damn
got the
angst.
crud that's going around.
It's a damn angsty teens at that concert the other night. You want to hear about my concert?
Sure, yeah, Kimberly's getting over the flu or something, but she's a
Dude, there are
teacher, so
so many people sick, and it's all the same stuff. It's all sinusy and congestion and
well, he's got the coof. Better put him out of his misery.
coughing and all this shit. Josie's sick too, so we got it at the concert because we're both
I
sick.
mean,
So we go to this concert. So this is Josie's favorite band in the whole wide world, which is The Garden. Which I don't know how these people find these bands, but it's at this little club in Chicago called the Metro. It's a block from Wrigley Field, really, literally a block from. Like we parked on a corner, and if we would have went the other, I think it was on Clark Street. If we'd have went the other direction, we were on the back side of Wrigley Field.
really.
Yeah, that's how close it was to Wrigley Field. So she wanted to get up as close to the stage as possible. So we got there 2.5 hours before the doors opened and froze our asses off because like wind chill was like 11. So we did a coat check. They had a coat check, luckily. So we did a coat check and we got in there.
What's coat
And
check? Like you turn in your coat,
you
or is
turn
it
your
like they?
coats in. Yeah, you turn your coats in. It was $8 for a coat check. And it's this
That's
little
not
tiny.
honestly. That's not bad.
No, I didn't think it was bad either, especially for Chicago, because parking was 30. So, um, so we get in line. That's where we had Raising Canes. Raising Canes was right down the street on the
They're
corner.
building
So
one in Kokomo,
I can't wait. I'm so excited. That's
right
some good
there where they
chicken.
said Chick-fil-A was going. But
Now
I'm okay.
I'll take Raising Canes. I think their chicken sandwiches
I
are better.
I think I had Raisins Canes out in Colorado, and it was balls. It was amazing.
Yeah, Josie had the chicken strips. She said they were fantastic.
Yeah,
Oh, so we go in this club, holds 1,100 people, and
really.
yeah, it's not very big, and we're right up near
That's a
the
lot of
stage.
people to me, but
Well, it's not that. Well, it's small for a concert venue. So we are second in line. Like there's like the stage, then people, then us, right? And I just wanted to make sure she had a good time. I didn't, I like live music and they were good, but I'm there to make sure she has fun without getting beat up.
yeah,
And
creepers.
the pushing I can take, how, because people are dancing and jumping up and down and
Hmm.
going crazy, right? But to fight people off from trying to cut in front of you, I got the hell beat out of me. These little skinny ass bitches trying to cut in front of you. It's like fighting underneath the goal for it's like fighting Shaq for a rebound. That's
It
how bad
sounds
it
like
was.
you jumped in like the mosh pit.
No, there was really well. That was more in the center than anything. We were on the side. I've been to a few shows like this. And I've never experienced people trying to get ahead of me before, where I've had to fight people off from getting in front of me.
Hmm.
Like I said, the getting pushed. I mean, they're dancing, they're jumping, they're having a good time. That goes with it. You kind of go with the flow with the pushing, right?
Yeah.
But to get pushed and shoved and elbowed,
What type of
and
band is this? I'm guessing metal or grunge or something.
it's like a metal electronica emo kind of band. It's two guys. So the Garden is they're twin brothers, Wyatt and Fletcher. Fletcher plays the drums, Wyatt plays the guitar, and
I'm
he's the main
guessing this is
singer.
some sort of new age
It is.
emo
And well, the one
goth.
guy before it, holy crap. It was all like They're good. The garden, they're good. They are. I wish I could have enjoyed the show more instead of worrying about people trying to cut in front of us. But Josie would have been in the back of the venue by the time the push and shove would have started to fight left her there by herself. Because that's how bad it was. And I mean, they just try to get in front of you. Like, where are you going to go? Like, I'm here. I'm not moving. So we battled that for a while. And then there was these two long ass lines. One was for the coat check, one was for merchandise. And of course, she wants merchandise. So
Well, you better made her buy herself.
She did. Well, I got in line for the coats. She got in line for the merchandise, and then they made me stand outside 45 minutes wait for her to get through the merchandise line.
They made you wait outside?
Yeah, I couldn't stay inside.
I guess because that's a limited amount of people. So.
Right. And it's a small, but she had a good time. That's all that mattered. That's her favorite band. That's all I cared about.
Yeah.
I was there to make sure she had fun. So I get the hell beat out of me, and she's like, maybe we should not be so close to the stage next time. I'm like, let me take the balcony, because they had a balcony up there. That was looking pretty good from after a while. And I didn't even dare to leave or try to get water or nothing. Like, the bouncers have bottles of water, and they're pouring water in people's mouths at the front of the stage. That's how.
Oh my
that's
God.
how crazy. Yeah. So, and I mean, she's a trooper. She stayed up. We didn't get home till 3:30. She did not fall asleep on the way home. So, but we had a really good time. She loved it, but she had a better time than I did. I got beat up. Like, I was sore. My legs were sore from fighting people. My back was sore. Arms were sore. But yeah, that's a whole new experience I don't really wish to experience again.
I don't blame you. We're too old for that, Kris.
Well, like I said, I can handle standing and watching a band, but to have to fight these stupid ass kids from trying to cut in front of me, I just don't want to deal with it. I really don't. Next time we go, I'll just stand in the balcony. If she wants to fight us, she can. That's the way I feel. But yeah, I'm too old.
If she wants to get in a fist fight, she's more than welcome.
Oh yeah, and this whiny ass kid's like, "Why are you pushing me?" I'm like, "I'm not pushing you, but I'm not moving." I said, "See her?" I said, "I'm here to make sure she has a good time," and I said, "I'm here to protect her. That is my job." Well, and like he's like John with me, and I'm like, "Dude, it's the same for everybody. It's not just you." Well, I'm wide-bodied. I'm like, I'm sorry. I said, but it's the same for everybody. Finally, the bouncer's like, "What's the problem?" He's like, "I can't breathe." All this. He's like, "Listen, people are going to shove. People are going to move around." He's like, "If you can't handle it, get out." That's exactly what he told the kid. He was just trying to get in front of us, was what he was trying to do, and he was losing because I was fighting back. I was pushing back. But God, what a
Imagine
night.
if, I was there,
Yeah. Well, and Josie, she's short anyway, right?
Well, she's got the low center of gravity.
Yeah, but I didn't want people to get in front of her and she couldn't see.
Mm-hmm.
So we had this core group of people around us, the people in front of us, next to Josie, and we all kind of stayed together and kind of fought people off from trying to get in front of us. But you kind of have to make friends in the pit. But that wasn't even the mosh pit. That was just to stand and watch the show. The mosh pit was going on in the center. People were body surfing, which is cool, but I wish I would have known ahead of time that they were surfing instead of just landing on your head.
Well, don't you see them coming your way, like gonna jump and
no, because they were coming from behind us.
Oh.
And then the bouncer's like, "We don't want to go back, so we got to push him back." And then you try it, like it was a girl, and I'm like, I don't want to be grabbing her butt,
Yeah, you'll be a creeper if you do that.
I'm trying not to cop a feel or anything. She's got a hold of my arm because I know she doesn't want to hit the ground. So she's grabbed a hold of my arm, and like I felt bad. I kept pushing into Josie. I kept grabbing Josie, making sure to make. She's like, I was groped, pushed.
You got groped? Nice.
It was crazy.
On purpose, or it's probably on accident,
No, it was all an accident. It's you don't know what to do with your hands, and it just happens. And
they put it on the butt of this old guy in front of me.
So You got to be, I was just there to make sure she had fun. That's all I cared about was she had fun.
Yeah.
So that's all.
How long of a drive was it to get there? I know Chicago's like what, an hour and a half, 2 hours?
No, it was it's up by Wrigley, so it was about 3 hours there.
Oh, okay.
We ran into a little bit of traffic getting there because they took us around the west side of Chicago instead of taking us down Lakeshore.
Yeah.
But when we left, my routing had us going down Lakeshore Drive. So we came down
It
Lakeshore.
was probably kind of backed up, to begin with. So it was like, we're taking you this way.
Yeah, and well, that's what I figured. And it was in the middle of the afternoon, which I'm sure there's always traffic in Chicago. But when we came home, I took a highway over to 31 and came down that way. Because when we came,
Oh, you went over to like South Bend and down.
More towards Warsaw, I think. It was south of South Bend.
It's all the same up there.
Yeah, but it's all the same because when we went over there, they took us down 18, and I'm like 18 to 65.
Yeah.
I did not want to take 18 at night because of the deer.
Yeah, I mean any road at night.
Right. Well, I figured 31. They kind of know to avoid that area a little bit
more. At least
more
the
than
older
they would
ones.
18. Yeah, but I just think 18 would be more of a deer infested area than
you're
31.
Not wrong. You're probably not wrong on that.
So it took us a little longer, probably about a half hour longer to get home than normal, but we had a good time. But no more concerts we're concerted out. I think we have nothing left, unless we go see. We might go see Paramore next year. That's in June. So, but that's at where the Pacers play.
Not Raw Pub. It's not even Banker's Life anymore.
No, it is. It's Gamebridge Fieldhouse.
I don't even know who that is.
Gamebridge are. I don't know. It's like an investment company, I think. I don't know. It's it's Gamebridge now. Gamebridge Fieldhouse is what it is. So they're playing. Paramore's playing there in June. We might go there. That's all I got planned. So that one about wore me out.
I mean, I don't doubt it. Jeez. Do you want to do? Now we'll go to get to your segment. We're gonna at least introduce Kris's segment this time, but we can't really do mine without the other guys here, or at least Mikey.
Right, that's fine.
But let me talk. So I haven't really watched anything this week. I finished up Great British Baking Show. The finale was Friday, and who won was kind of who I expected. It was the girl. Nobody here cares about that show, so I'm not even going to talk about it. I've gotten into baking shows just because they're fun to watch.
I like the food truck baking show.
I like Guys Grocery Games. Then I just watched Million Ways to Die in the West, which is an underrated movie.
I just watched it a couple of weeks ago, and actually, there's an unrated version I want to watch.
But I like all like the cameos and stuff. Not Liam Neeson.
That's a funny movie.
Yeah, they have Doc Brown. They have oh my god, I can't think of his name. Ewan McGregor's in it. The guy who plays Deadpool, I can't think of his name all of a sudden.
Ryan Reynolds is in it.
Ryan Reynolds is in it.
Yeah.
At the end,
Django's
you got
in it too.
Django at the end. But yeah, it's a very underrated movie. It's got the middle's a little slow, but that's okay. Every movie's got a little slow in middle part. But
that's a funny movie.
Yeah. And I remember when it came out, my friends hated it, and I was dying laughing in it. Like Neil Patrick Harris shitting in the hat.
Dude, yeah, I know. That was freaking hysterical, man. We watched that. Well, I actually went to the movie to see that.
I did too.
I wasn't disappointed.
That came out in 14 or 15, I think. I saw it when I played it. It was when the year it came out. I think it was 14 or 15.
It had to be 14, I think. I was still in Florida.
So there you go, 14.
That's a funny ass movie.
No, but for those who care, I got a new job. I am going to be working from home now. I finished up my 2 weeks, and I don't know if we'll find out if I like it. It's one of those things where I didn't know I was going to like driving until I started driving, so I don't know if I'm going to like working from home until I do it. I might hate it, but you know what? I got to figure it out myself.
I watched Andy Griffith's South Park and JFK today.
Jeez.
I mean,
You don't do anything.
it's on in the background. It's if I take a call, I've seen them all. I always watch something that I've seen like a lot. Yesterday I watched
Yeah.
Risky Business because
Well, I have
I can look away from it and do work when it's busy, and
I
then I
have
can go
my
back to it.
office desk sitting right next to my gaming PC, so I'm not going to do any gaming. Yeah, I've told myself I'm not going to game while I'm working. But I might have like a live stream up or something. I might have like something playing, just so I can sit there and like look at it while I'm doing whatever in
Well,
between
like I'm
stuff.
busy. Well, when you're busy, like I'm busy. The busiest is on Mondays. We're slow this week. I think it's because holiday. Um,
Mm.
but on Mondays, a lot of times I'll play like my satellite. I'll play Sirius app or Spotify, and I'll play music just to have in the background, just so it's not dead quiet.
Yeah.
But
Um,
like
but
today,
no,
I watched a lot of that stuff.
all I've done is play video. All I've been doing is playing the new Call of Duty. I can't lie. This new Call, I haven't played Call of Duty. I haven't owned a Call of Duty since World War II. When did that game come out? I've only played that game for a few months because it was so bad.
I enjoyed World War II.
You did. You served in World War II.
Yeah,
It came out in 2017.
yeah, I like
I
that game.
the last good COD was Black Ops 2, in my opinion, which came out in one. Black Ops 2 came out in 2012, and that was the last good Call of Duty, in my opinion, was 2012. I haven't, I heard the game that came out 3 years ago, Modern Warfare, was really good, but I wasn't interested in it. I don't know, I just wasn't interested in it. But I decided to get this game because all my other friends were, and I have not been disappointed. This is some of the most fun I've had in a COD in a long time. The
You
game
playing?
is
You playing on the PC or?
Yeah, it's crossplay. So I'm playing on PC, but I have a friend that plays on Xbox that we play with. And I'm playing against people on PC, Xbox, PlayStation.
Aha.
Um, but there's every game has its issues. I can't say it's not balanced or whatever, but when I haven't had this game in a while. I haven't had a game like this in a while where I just play it and I lose track of time. Some games I'm sitting there like, I've only been playing for an hour and I'm bored already, or
Right.
but this game I was playing it the other day and all of a sudden I looked at the time and it's been like 4 hours and I was like, what the heck?
Oh, I like games like that.
Um, but they just released a couple new modes. They added the Warzone mode, which if you know what that is, or if you don't know what that is, it's a battle royale mode. It's like 100 people get dropped into a map and just whoever survives
Do you have to pay
survives.
for those modes?
Warzone and DMZ is free.
Okay.
DMZ is kind of a survival game. If you've ever played Tarkov or the Hunt Showdown is basically a copy of this game, or this game's almost copied the Hunt Showdown. Um, and basically you go in and whatever you take in, you lose. If you die, you lose it. But you take it in and you got to do missions and fight people, and it's not about like just killing the most people you can. It's about doing the missions or your quests that you went in there to do. So right now there's a new gun they released, and the only way to get it is in this mode. And I've been
Uh-huh.
trying for like the past 2 days to get this gun, and the way you get it is always it's so far away from me sometimes, or when I get there, there's so many other people fighting for it that I don't get it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And if you don't get to the helicopter and extract, you don't keep anything you fought and won, killed for. It's fun. DMZ has really brought new life into the game. It's granted it's in its early stages. They don't really have much in it right now, but if they keep updating it, it's going to be fun. I think
What? Like, is it modern? Is it?
it's modern. It's Call of Duty learned that futuristic doesn't work anymore. the exoskeletons and super suits and all that stuff.
So where do you fight? Where are you fighting?
You're in a fictional country called Al Mazrah. The terrorists of Al Mazrah in the single player.
Okay, so you're fighting terrorists.
You're fighting terrorists and drug cartels.
Oh, that's cool.
The drug cartels are trying to help the terrorists get into the country in the single player to like set off bombs and stuff. Because one, the terrorists are paying them a lot of money, and two, they think people are going to turn to drugs to a destabilized country. It's easier to get drugs in, right, and people are going to be doing more drugs. So it's a win-win for them. So it's fun. You're fighting terrorists, and you're fighting drug cartels. What's better than that?
It's true. That sounds fun.
The single player is worth it. Don't buy it yet, Kris, because this is one of the first games that have done it. New games are going up to $70 on release.
Yeah, I'll wait a year or two, like I did with Red Dead Revolver or whatever it was, Red Dead Redemption or whatever.
Yeah,
I'll buy it next year, and it'll be $25 on Black
Friday. Exactly. You'll buy it next year, $25, probably $20, maybe $10. You never know.
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
But games are going up to $70 on release for multiple other reasons. Inflation. It has been known for a while they're going to go up to $70. Like gaming companies have been saying it for like the last couple of years. But inflation, the cost of paying people, running a business. I don't blame them, but at the same time, this game. Hold on, I want to see how many copies this game has sold. How many copies?
Yeah, but how much is downloaded versus how many hard copies?
Well, they don't do hard copies anymore. You get a hard copy, but all it is a download code.
Is a download? Yeah, exactly.
They haven't. There's not much out right now, but in the first 3 days, they sold $800 million.
Jeez, that's more than a movie.
Yeah. So this game has definitely made its money.
Oh, they've made their money back because they're really, think about it. They're not. A lot of people buy it online, so they download it that way, as opposed. So they're not producing as many games, hard copies.
No, they're making money left and right because they don't have to pay the factories to make the copies.
That's right.
So in reality, prices should not have gone up because everything's digital now.
Yeah.
So the money that would have went towards packaging, production, shipping could have been put towards feeding the broke coder. What a lot of big companies do, and the company that makes Call of Duty is notorious for it, is they'll make, when the game's getting ready to be produced, they do a big hiring push, hire 1,000 people.
Right.
Then right when the game's released, they lay off like 75% of them.
Jeez.
That's the gaming industry though, because why do you need?
Well, it's probably like a
production?
movie.
Yeah.
You only work if you're work in the movie industry, you're only going to work project to project. You're not going to work straight up every day.
Yeah, they don't need 1,000 coders or production people when the game's released. They need a few people to make updates, a few people to make expansions, and that's it. An expansion doesn't take
Yeah, but you know what? Those guys are probably subcontracted. They know who's good, and they just bring them back in for the next game. Those people aren't hurting.
No, but they programmers and people that work in the video game industry do need to be paid more, because all the big production companies are in like LA or San Francisco or Vancouver, these expensive cities, and these people can't afford it.
Silicon Valley. They come out of Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Do they really?
So, yeah, there's I think let me see. Activision offices are Santa Monica, California, are their headquarters.
Yeah, everything's in California, probably that whole area. Yeah.
So I do think that coders need to be paid more, but like you said, the money that they put towards production and shipping and everything could have been flopped over to this. Anyways, that's what I've been doing. I've been gaming.
I've been watching just random stuff. I did watch this documentary on Netflix about it's called Pepsi, Where's My Jet?
I saw that. I remember hearing about this.
I remember this. I remember the commercial after watching it. So Pepsi was huge in the 90s. It was a big cola war between Coke and Pepsi that started in the 80s, really. And Pepsi upped the game. I mean, Pepsi really started it because they signed Michael Jackson in the 80s. And they had Cindy Crawford. They had all these famous people, right? So, so in 1995, they had this giveaway, right? So Pepsi had an ad campaign where you get Pepsi points. You can turn your Pepsi points in for like leather jackets, sunglasses, T-shirts, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And the commercial says that. And then if you see this kid and he lands a Harrier jet at school, and it says Harrier jet, 7 million Pepsi points. So this 20-year-old guy named John Leonard says, I want the Harrier jet. What do I need to do to get 7 million Pepsi points? Well, he figured out how much Pepsi he would have to drink and all this stuff, and it was crazy. So he got an investor involved. And the guy's like, no. He's like, I don't want to spend 70 million. Or I don't want to spend $7 million or $70 million or something like that for or whatever. So, but what he found out, he read the catalog. Pepsi had these catalogs with all the merchandise in it, you know.
Yeah.
And it said at the back of the thing that Pepsi points can be purchased for 10 cents a point. So 7 million Pepsi points is $700,000. And a Harrier is $36 million plane. So he goes to Young America in the Midwest. And that's where all the contest people are. Drops a check off for $700,000 for this jet because he wants the jet. And Pepsi sent the check back to him with coupons for 2 free cases of Pepsi.
2 free cases.
Yeah, and they sent the check back. So he tried to sue them, right? Meanwhile, they changed it. In the commercial, they changed it to 700 million points with just kidding in parentheses, right? Which admits they messed up. That's guilt.
Yeah.
And so first Pepsi tried to sue them back, countersue. Then they tried to pay him off. Then Michael Avenatti gets involved.
Who's that?
He was the guy who was trying to. He's under house arrest. He's this highfalutin lawyer. He's the one that had Stormy Daniels, and he was trying to sue Trump.
Oh yeah.
That's Michael Avenatti. He got involved.
I forgot about the whole Stormy Daniels thing and Trump.
Well, Pepsi had a lot of issues before. They've had fraud in the Philippines. So they had this deal where if your number matched the bottle cap, the number on your bottle cap, you won 1 million pesos, which in the Philippines is a lot of money. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, come to find out, there was more than one bottle cap with that number. So you would have to split it with everybody. And I mean, all these people were drinking Pepsi. They were foregoing food for their family and all this stuff to get Pepsi because if they drank Pepsi and got the number, they win 1 million pesos and they're set. So they had all kinds of problems. In fact, there was a Pepsi factory was firebombed, killed 3 workers. It was said that Pepsi firebombed the factory themselves to try and make the people of the Philippines look bad. But then they came and to sway public opinion, but they later said it was a rival bottler that firebombed the factory. So
sure.
Pepsi is not immune to fraud. So come to find, so this all started in 1995. By 1999, the federal judge ruled against it. They could not have the plane, basically. But in law classes, they use this case in contract law. In contract law classes, they use the Pepsi case. But here's the crazy thing. So they talked to this guy that worked as an ad executive for Pepsi, right?
Yeah.
The original commercial, they said that 700 million Pepsi points will get you a Harrier jet. And Pepsi said, I can't read it. There's too many zeros. Make it 7 million. So if Pepsi would have just listened to the ad executives, they never would have had an issue come up about this at all.
Wow.
So it's a pretty interesting documentary. It's only like 2 hours long. It's like 4 episodes.
What is your segment gonna be called again? Shit, Kris watch.
Well, shit, Kris watch. Yeah, we can call it that. Yeah, shit, Kris watch. That's basically what it is. What I call it? Did I call it? What is it? Bottom bin, or no? Not Buster. That was it.
Yeah, not Buster, because it wasn't a blockbuster.
Not Buster movie segment. This is the Not Buster movie segment. Oh, that Pepsi documentary is on Netflix if you want to check it out. So yes, it's called the Not Buster. Welcome to my segment. I wish I had a theme song. I need to get a theme song. It's called the Not Buster movie segment.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. And we'll tell them, if you want a theme song, you got to get yourself and send it to me, because I've never edited in audio, and I need to learn.
I'll find something and I'll play it in the background. This is
okay.
Low budget. We ain't got the money for that, Kris.
Yeah, we know what. We don't get paid for this.
We don't get paid for this either. So the Not Buster this week I watched, because I remember a few weeks ago I watched a movie called Top Gunner, right?
Yeah.
This time I watched Top Gunner Danger Zone.
Oh, you watched the sequel?
Well, okay, you would think it's a sequel, but there is nobody from the original movie in this movie.
What?
But it's called Top Gunner Danger Zone.
Oh, can I say something really quick?
Sure.
December 22nd to Paramount Plus, Maverick is coming out.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
This has nothing to do with Top Gunner Danger Zone. So the movie starts out and there's a dogfight, and you can't figure out why there's a dogfight, right? But then they go from there and they cut straight from a dogfight with these CGI jets straight to New York City. Okay. And the FBI is going after these terrorists. So this terrorist gets shot and they're like, they see all this like bomb making material. And they're like, what are you going to bomb? Come on, tell us what you're going to bomb. And of course, the terrorist ain't going to tell anybody anything, right? But amongst the bomb-making material, they find an altimeter, right? So the altimeter, they've somehow figured this out, leads them to they're going to bomb an airplane, okay?
Okay.
So what do they get hold of? So they figure out that they're going to bomb an airplane that's taking off from JFK. How they figure out it's
JFK?
I have no idea. There was no way. What about LaGuardia? I mean, there's two major airports. Plus, there's Newark, right? Has an airport too, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
New Jersey. So they just straight up, it's JFK. Okay. So how they know it was JFK and not LaGuardia, that doesn't even explain it. And so there's an Army Ranger on the plane, and people are acting funny. So of course the air marshal gets involved. You know.
Oh yeah, the air marshal. There's always an air marshal.
Right. So which is Michael Pare? Now, Michael Pare is he's been in a few things. He was in a TV show called Wise Guys. He was in Eddie and the Cruisers, which is a great movie from the 80s.
Who he is.
So he's not a bad actor, right? It is like he's reading off a teleprompter. Like.
So he's just there for the paycheck.
Yes, exactly. And I'm going to read this exactly how he said it, and I am not exaggerating. You ready for this?
Yeah.
It is my duty to protect everyone, but everyone is a suspect, especially someone who is willing to help without being asked and has demonstrated an awareness of internal airline protocols in situations such as this. Because there's an Army Ranger on board, so he suspects the Army Ranger of being a terrorist. Then he says, your experience and expertise in this type of situation would help a lot right now. Like, that's how he says it. I'm like, dude, did he forget how to act?
Line.
Right? So they steal a deal from Speed, right? If the plane gets above 1,300 feet, the bomb will explode.
Above 1,300 feet.
Yes. So they've snuck this bomb onto an airplane at JFK. Okay.
Well, just fly it out the ocean. Stay low.
So meanwhile, while all this is going on, there's a big storm coming. Of course, there's a big storm coming, right?
Oh yeah, of course. A reason they would have to fly higher.
Well, they've got to beat that. So they have to keep the plane below 1,300 feet. So the FBI guy, he's trying to call into the air traffic controller, and he says we have a code yellow. They never explain what a code yellow is. And let me tell you, this is the biggest, roomiest freaking airplane I've ever seen in my life. Because the guy goes to return to his.
Is it an A380?
I don't know. It's a commercial jet. It's flying south.
Wait, what does this have to do with the dogfight?
Okay, hold on a second. So the plane is so big. Like the guy, he sits by the window. He's got a window seat. The other people don't even have to get out of their seats. He can just walk right in front of them and sit down. That's how big that plane is. So they figured out just by watching security video from the airport that the FBI has figured out they've hacked into the security to get the bomb through TSA. They used military-grade AI to sneak this through. So it's in the luggage underneath the plane, right, where the luggage is stored. So they have to be careful because turbulence can set off the IED. So they have to be careful. But the storm's coming, and they have to fly low, okay? So basically, they got to search the whole plane and everybody's luggage to see where the bombs are, because there's more than one bomb on the plane in the luggage. So the former Army guy and the air marshal go down to where the luggage is, and they found a suitcase. This is how they found the original bomb. They found a suitcase with no tag on it saying it went through security. Now, they don't mention any type of terrorists working at the airport, like that are inside guys at all. So how they got this into the belly of the plane is a mystery. Everything's a mystery. They can't land the plane because they've rigged the landing gear with the bomb, right? So the air marshal gets blown up. He gets blown up because the turbulence sets a bomb off, but he's smart enough to cover himself over the bomb. But it does no damage whatsoever to the airplane.
So nothing below the airplane gets.
No, and the Army guy
the bomb gets
blown up, and the Army guy in the belly of the plane, he doesn't get hurt either. But the Army guy does defuse the bomb because that's what he's known how to do. And that's what they say. That they say the terrorists are using the safety procedures against them, and that's how they were able to get bombs on the plane. They use acetone, which is volatile. It will activate the bomb if they land because of the bumpy landing and the incoming storm. Okay. So the Army guy figures he's just going to drop the bomb into the waters. That's how he's going to get rid of all the bombs. Meanwhile, the plane is escorted by fighter jets. Where these fighter jets came from, I don't have any idea. But this unidentified flying jet comes in and starts dogfighting with the other jets. Again, terrorists have hijacked using AI, military-grade AI.
Oh, because AI just, makes sense for everything.
Right. And forget about the mountains that surround New York and Brooklyn and all the other
mountains.
Yeah, there's mountains. You can see mountains in the background, right?
What?
Yeah. So we don't know where the planes come from. Why there isn't other planes up there shooting down? There's one pilot. There were two, and one of them got shot down by the AI plane. Okay. Are you following this, Chris?
Wait, is AI flying the enemy planes?
Yes. The AI is flying the enemy planes.
Oh my goodness, what a roller coaster.
So one of the pilots has to sacrifice himself because one of the AIA planes is flying towards the commercial jet. So he sacrifices himself, which leaves one woman. But there's more MiGs coming. So the co-pilot of the jet, of the commercial jet, says that there's not a problem. She's going to outmaneuver the fighter plane with the commercial jet. So the MiG starts shooting at the pilots, right? Starts shooting at the commercial plane, kills the pilot and the co-pilot. So it turns into airplane at this point. You've got the Army guy and the stewardess left, right? So this is after he's thrown the bomb out the plane. The Army guy, do you think he uses the radio to talk to the tower?
No.
He uses his cell phone.
Okay.
I don't know how he's doing this, but okay. But anyway, they have someone in the tower, and this lady's like, increase your speed. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Then they figure out she's trying to crash the plane because she's in on it. So the Army guy and the stewardess land the plane safely. Nobody's hurt. They think it's this crazy guy because this guy was like afraid to fly anyway. And they think there was this crazy guy on the plane who was the terrorist. He's not the terrorist. He was the person the terrorist was trying to blow up because he was going to expose the terrorism cell. And he was willing to take down, the terrorist organization was willing to kill everybody just to kill this one guy. So, meanwhile, where's the storm? The storm never shows up. It's never produced. You see it on the radar, but it never affects the plane whatsoever. It never rains, it never lightnings, it never windy, nothing.
So this whole storm that was supposed to mess everything up never
happened. And then at the end of the movie, there was a love connection between the Army guy and the stewardess.
Of course.
And the credits roll movie.
You know, sometimes the sequels just aren't as good as the originals.
The original. This movie was all over I didn't feel like I wasted my time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, it was so ridiculous. I mean, I expected it to be ridiculous, but not as all over the place. Like, I was like, where's the storm? And I kept saying this through the whole movie. Where's the storm? They kept talking about this storm. Where's the storm? And the storm never ever showed up. So, you gotta check it out. Top Gunner Danger Zone.
Top Gunner. Well, I think yes. Top Gunner for the original is what I need to watch.
Yes, that's the better of the two.
And let me guess, you watched it on your Fire Stick.
I did watch them both on my. Well, Top Gunner is on like Tubi or something, and I watched Gun. I watched Top Gunner Dogfight or Danger Zone on my Fire Stick, my app. So, but I can't wait. I've got to dig out another horrible movie. I'll just IMDb some movie, and whatever comes up. That's how I found that Don't Fuck in the Woods movie.
I mean, it's easy enough to find a bad movie. You can just load up Netflix, and there'd be 20 of them right there. And
well, yeah, but I want it to be as crazy, and hopefully, I don't know if they can all be this ridiculous, but we'll have to see. But that's my new segment called Not Buster, Top Gunner, Danger Zone. So there you go.
The more you know.
Yeah, but so I'll have to check out another movie sometime. Maybe I'll find a cheesy Christmas movie or something. I'm sure there's some out there.
There's plenty of cheesy Christmas movies out there.
And it doesn't even have to be Hallmark. That poor old Candace Cameron's getting put through the ringer. Did you hear that?
Who's Candace Cameron?
Candace Cameron Bure. She does all those Hallmark Christmas movies.
Oh, what'd she do?
Well, first she moved her movies to another network, which is her own network. And they asked her like how she was going to do it, and she said she was going to do her Christmas movies were going to have traditional male female characters falling in love, and there was never going to be any, basically no woke segments whatsoever, and everybody's all been out of shape about it because she won't put anybody else, other type of people in her film except traditional marriage people. So she's in a lot of trouble. She's catching a lot of crap.
Who cares? It's her. It's her. If you want something else, you can make it yourself.
That's it, and that's exactly what she said. And that was the point. Somebody wrote an article, and they're like, "Isn't that what you tell Christians? Well, if you don't like it, don't watch the movie."
Yeah, it's what they tell Christians all the time. If you don't like it, don't watch it. If you don't like it, you don't watch what she's putting out.
Yeah. So she's getting a lot of crap because she wants to make a movie how she wants to make it. Shame on her. Make a movie however you want to make it. I don't care. If you want to make it, however you want to do it. I mean, if you want it full of kids, make it full of kids. You want it just 22-year-old girls, that's the stipulation. Every girl in the movie must be 22 years old. Make it. Who cares? Gotta have
your
diversity.
Movie. Do what you want.
It's your movie. Do what you want. That's right. So, she's in hot water. Jason David Frank. We should talk about Jason David Frank.
Oh yeah, we. It's sad because we were legit talking about him. Not even
last
a week ago at this point.
Yeah, right. Basically, yeah. That story gets more and more disturbing as they release.
So what happened?
So he basically took care of himself.
Yeah, that's what I saw, but I don't know if there's more that's come out since.
There's a lot. So it has to do with his ex-wife and a former stepdaughter of his, and an argument, and they were arguing, and I guess they had stayed in a hotel. Him and his ex-wife had stayed in a hotel, but in separate rooms, and they were arguing, and she was going to take him. It had to do with court proceedings and money, and he wouldn't answer his phone, and they called hotel management, and they found him in the bathroom.
Jeez.
So apparently, he had hung himself. So it's just sad. Like, I literally saw him a week ago last Saturday in Indianapolis.
Nuts.
And he did that because he loves it. He loved the fans. He loved the fans so much, and they would just line up at every Comic-Con.
Yeah,
to meet him.
Like I jokingly said, if you hadn't seen him, just wait for your local con. He'll be there.
He'll be there. Yeah, and he loved being out with the fans. He loved interacting with the fans, and making an impact with people. And it's a real shame. It really is. And then also, Fanboy Expo will not be coming back to Indianapolis, I read.
Why?
Because logistically, it doesn't pay the bills.
Oh.
So,
in a sense, I'm not surprised.
They were a one and done. I know, but I'm not either. But I like the fact that it was in November and not like, Comic-Con is always in now it's in May, right?
Yeah.
But then they put the PopCon in June.
By the time PopCon comes around, I'm still recovering the money from
exactly.
Comic-Con.
That's the problem. I wish they would put Indie PopCon, put it in the fall, and I would probably go. I don't know.
Maybe that's something we should say to them. How they're always there promoting it. They always got their own stand. Hey, come to PopCon. I was like, well, I would if you, had it a few months later because I ain't got the money, from going to Comic-Con.
Well, that was the issue because mine was always Comic-Con 500, then Indie PopCon's in June.
Yeah, so you ain't got the money.
But now Comic-Con's in May. Then it's May race, and then I'm done basically. So yeah, I will never attend Indie PopCon. Not unless they move it.
I've thought about going, but the way I've always seen it is it's mostly, there's a lot of people there, but it's mostly just hey, if you want to go see a YouTuber or something,
Yeah, well, they have good celebrities. I know a couple years ago they had the guys from Revenge of the Nerd there.
Yeah,
Robert
I mean, I'm not
Carradine.
saying it's just them, but
They have good celebrity lineup. They really do. But like you said, it's a lot of YouTubers and
cosplayers and people that I don't really
yeah,
pay
that's
attention.
not my. That's just not my thing, right? Exactly. And it's like $35, ain't it, to go in?
I think so. I think if I remember right, it is a little more expensive than Comic Con.
But if that's the way it's going to be, I will go to that Galaxy Con in Columbus next year.
Oh my gosh, just looking at the guest list,
Yeah,
it's
it's
enough
got
to
to be
make
a
me
big
go.
con. So I might want to. We'll have to keep that on the back burner for next year because it's in the fall.
Yeah.
Fanboy Expo ain't coming back. Sadly, it was a good con. I thought they had some neat stuff there. It just wasn't very big, and I don't know how much it costs to take on cons, or I don't know how much the celebrities charge. I'm sure they charge an appearance fee.
Yeah, but it's probably not as much as they make from, getting paid.
No, I mean, because minimum was $40. I think that was the minimum.
Yeah.
I know, like Deborah Foreman was $40 for a selfie, or $40 for an autograph, and it was like 60 for both or something. But then the other people like the Transformer guys were $80. Lee Majors was $80. Lindsay Wagner was 60, I think. So a lot of the wrestlers were $40. So I'm sure they get paid an appearance fee, and
Yeah.
I don't know
But
if
I don't think the appearance.
I don't know if the con gets a cut of their signatures or not.
If I remember right, one of the Comic Con or at Comic Con, one of the panelists was talking. They get a cut up to. I don't remember if it's a cut up to a certain point. Hey, after $1,000, it's all yours or something, or
Uh,
it was they get like 10% of every, you know, of your, everything. I can't remember which one it was.
really.
It's one of the two, and maybe it depends on the con itself. So maybe Indie Comic Con is, hey, after $1,000 our way, it's all yours or something. And then maybe other ones are, hey, at the end of the day, we get 10% of whatever you earned.
Yeah, well, this one wasn't. It wasn't even. I'm trying to think of how to size it. Like, remember? Okay, so remember the room where the celebrities were? Not this past Comic Con, but the one before that had Shatner.
Yeah, the big one with the concessions in the middle.
Is that what it was? It had
Yeah,
something in the middle.
they had like concessions in the middle, and then there was like a big empty room with all the people
Right. Okay. So
where Mikey got the guy from Blue Mountain State's
right.
autograph.
That room. That's how big the con was. Maybe a
Oh,
little bit bigger. It wasn't very much bigger than that.
how
It
many
was.
people went to this con? I forget what you
It was
said.
busy. Like I said, the Lee Majors line was busy. The Lindsay Wagner line was busy. They had the guy from Dragon Ball Z. He was busy. Jason
Which
David
guy?
Frank.
Because they've
I don't.
all gotten
Uh, uh,
not the main guy.
Not the
That
main guy. No. Um, Jason David Frank had a line. The Transformer guys had a line at the wazoo. People were busy. A lot of the celebrities were busy. The wrestlers they were kind of hit and miss, but it's all the voice
well,
actors, mostly the voice actors.
anime is so big right now that voice actors are.
That's crazy because like I said, that girl that played Cindy in the Brady Bunch movie, she does voice acting,
Hmm,
and I think people went to see her because she was a voice actress,
not because of the
not
Brady.
because of the movie. I would have went to see her for the movie,
You probably been the only one.
probably. But it seemed like because it was smaller, it seemed like those tables were a little busy. Maybe I don't know. Um, but the
I just
line
think
for
Comic Con does it the right way usually.
really do it's all completely separate. This was they had celebrities on both sides of the room, and then in the middle was the merchandise. That's how this was. That's all they had room for. But it was probably as big as, say, maybe Dunham's, a department store. That's what it reminded me of. Or whatever was in Dunham's before Dunham's. What was that? The department store there? Or
Macy's.
Maybe the old Sears. Remember Sears? Remember how big
Yeah.
Sears was? It's probably enough to fill that up. That's probably how big this was.
That ain't bad.
That tells you. No. But they're going to go, so they're going to Orlando, and I think another, like, Knoxville, I think, is the only ones. Because I guess it just started a few years ago, and then, like, COVID hit them hard. So they just...
Well, the problem... I hate to say it, but one of the problems I have anymore is just all the different cons. And like we were talking about, like there's PopCon and Comic-Con, GalaxyCon, Fanboy Con, whatever else con floats your boat.
Gen Con.
Gen Con's its own thing.
But yeah, Gen Con's crazy.
Gen Con's one of the biggest conventions in the world. It's legit. Gen Con's so big now that it takes up the convention centers of almost all the downtown hotels. All of the convention center and Lucas Oil now.
Yeah. That's amazing.
All for board games.
Yeah, but they do costumes and everything, and they do skits and.
Well, yeah, there's everything there. It's more than just board games now.
Right.
They got video games. They got D&D. They got a lot of stuff now.
But what I do wish we would get is like any kind of con, like like a TV show, like the Star Wars Celebration, which was in Orlando for a while. Then they moved it.
Oh, you mean like one of the big ones, like Star Wars Con or the big Trek Con?
Yeah, like a Trek Con, or even just like a small con. I would love to have a con of like 70s and 80s TV shows. I think that would be cool. Or you hear all these kind of fan cons for all these TV shows or movies or whatever, and Indianapolis never seems to get one.
Well, probably the places they go just have the better facilities. I mean, I know Indy is big, like has one of the better convention centers, but
as far as getting people there,
yeah, it's the middle of nowhere. Like the fans, like it's Indiana. Why go to Indianapolis when you go to Vegas?
Well, Chicago's probably got them too, more than we do, I'm sure. Other than C2E2, which I'd still like to go to C2E2 sometime.
I've heard such mixed things about C2E2. That's kind of lame. That it's kind of pricey and over exaggerated. So like it's the greatest thing.
It probably is. Well, everything's Chicago. Everything's a little pricier in Chicago.
Sure.
But you get the bigger name celebrities there too.
Yeah.
But then you get the smaller celebs too. Like we have we haven't seen that doesn't make sense. Nobody from Cobra Kai has come to our cons.
Yeah, they have.
No, they haven't.
Yeah, they have. We've had people from Cobra Kai at some of the Comic Cons. Back when back like the first two seasons of Cobra Kai, we had people.
We haven't had them since.
Yeah, we haven't had them since.
Yeah, anything hot, Indianapolis never gets.
Star Trek and Star Wars people.
I mean, they did.
Voice actors.
The only one I know of that they've gotten recently is like a hot show that everybody's talking about. Everybody's talking about. The last time that they had somebody,
different animes.
Everybody, not just a genre. Like the last time they had somebody that was like really hot and popular was they had David Harbour. Remember? Millie Bobby Brown was there that one year.
Yeah.
We had David Harbour the next.
We had the chick that plays Arya and Joffrey from Game of Thrones one year.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like anything that's like any show that's like super hot now, Indianapolis doesn't get.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Not since David Harbour. I think David Harbour was the last guy where, like I said, something that everybody watches.
I'm looking up Comic-Con.
We're I know everybody watch. I know a lot of people watch anime and stuff, but I mean, something that's going to bring people that don't normally go to Comic Cons. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hold on, I'm looking up in Comic Con right now, see if they've announced anybody.
Like if they got the kid that played Eddie Munson at our Comic Con this year, next year, this coming year, that might bring people who don't normally go to Comic Cons to Comic Con.
We had the boys, the two guys from the boys.
We we didn't have like Carl Urban. We had
Giancarlo Esposito.
we had Giancarlo Esposito, and we had the other guy, Jesse
T. Usher.
Yeah, Jesse Usher. Yeah. But I'm talking about just every. I'm talking
I
about
know what you're
PG-13,
saying.
not
I know what
R-rated.
you're saying. We don't have like the people from Big Bang Theory when it was hot. We don't have. I don't know what big shows. I don't know what show's hot right now.
I don't either. But like I said, if you got a couple people that were in, like bring Winona Ryder. You know what I mean? We need somebody like that caliber.
Yeah.
Kids watch the show. A lot of kids aren't watching The Boys. You know what I mean? Guys are probably watching The Boys, but I mean, as far as whole families or whatever, they're not watching The Boys. They're watching. I mean, unless we get somebody from the new Game of Thrones, that would be kind of cool. Or even somebody from Peacemaker.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
Like they had at Fanboy, they had the guy that played Cad Bane, like the guy, just the one off in the TV show. They had him at the Fanboy Expo.
I didn't even think about. I kind of forgot about Cad Bane being in.
Yeah, because he was only in like one episode. So, but I get it. They tried to. People in Indianapolis. We talked about this before. They're gonna spend $200 on an autograph.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but like the most I'll spend is like 50.
I spent 140 on Lee Majors, but that was the exception. He was the exception to the rule. Remember, I had been talking about wanting to see him since I started going to cons.
Yeah. I mean, there's a few people that I would. I should have gotten Shatner. I'm gonna be honest. I should have went and got Shatner. I should have paid the 100 for him.
Yeah, but I read that they charged more at the show. Like at the show, it was like 125.
That's I could see that.
But I don't know. We'll have to see. He's going to be at that thing. I bet you could buy VIP. It's in March. Wrathacon at what you call it?
I'm forgetting about that.
Clues Hall.
All right, let's. What time? Okay, I'm starting to fall asleep at my desk. I'm getting tired.
No, I'm good.
Anyways, you can catch us at Pod Nerds on Twitter, Hoosier Nerds on Facebook. You can watch and listen to us at YouTube at Hoosier Nerds Podcast. I totally forgot about Shower Thought, but we'll skip it this time.
I was gonna say we have no Shower Thought. I was gonna say that.
I don't have one. I don't feel like looking one up. You can listen to us at your favorite podcast networks such as Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, and TuneIn Radio.
See, I was too tired to even bother you today.
And you'll never know that Kris and Kris are your nerds because I think you've never missed a show. I think I've missed one. I think you guys have done one or two without me.
Yeah, and then Mikey's done a show or two, yeah.
And then you've never missed a show. So it's the Hoosier Kris podcast. You'll never know Kris is your nerd. Kris with a K, the old man.
Yeah, the old man.